So wow, I found a crazy, crazy article, just completely bonkers. I don't know. This is probably one of the most stupidest self-projecting articles I've ever read, or just like filled with cope. So it's a article from SF Gate, a San Francisco chronicle, that is very pissed off about the bigoted laws in the red states. And they're saying basically these red states are going to have a bigger exodus than, wait for it, Ukraine. I know it was an analogy, but still. I mean, the complete opposite is happening. Everybody is leaving states like New York and California for Texas and Florida and for those red states. All the states are gaining population are red. Why? Well, mostly people not even political. People just know that this is where the jobs are and where opportunity is. They could give one F about the "Don't Say Gay" bill or whatever. I mean, yes, those bills they're a hot button issue. The politicians are grandstanding. The politicians in their crude way are trying to address the fact that a lot of parents are really unhappy with their public school education or what their kids are being taught, aka critical race theory, aka like this culture war stuff, aka about this trans and gay stuff, grooming the kids. It's like, I know that you can't divide. I mean, if the culture is rotten, and if the teachers are rotten, and then their brain is rotted out with this awful ideology, these laws are not. I mean, they're a clunky way of solving the issue. The issue is the culture is messed up. These teachers want to teach and want to indoctrinate kids into a messed up ideology. That's the real issue. These laws are an attempted band-aid, but they're not perfect, obviously. But they the author of this article. Oh, Drew. Oh, okay, yeah. I read some of the stuff before. And probably so. I don't even know if he's how self-aware is, but I think it's a lot of cope. It's a lot of it's like they see that San Francisco is becoming a complete turd hole with just crackheads, open air drug markets, just people dying in the streets. Everything is rents are through the roof. Companies are leaving. Everything is getting worse and worse and worse. But they have this wonderful educational diversity, and it's like, look, people mostly care about quality of life and taxes. Even though a lot of the liberal people saying that they don't care, they want higher taxes for free healthcare and this and that. At the end of the day, no. Companies and people outside of their grandstanding would actually want a nicer quality of life. And people are moving to red states. That's it. And instead of obviously competing like, oh, what are the blue states doing that we should, oh, maybe all these laws that are killing business, man, we should get rid of that. We should see, like, we can ask some companies that are left why they left, and oh, okay, maybe we should change some of these policies around. Maybe there's some useless regulation that, maybe bring some of the work back. No, 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 no. Obviously, these people aren't so indoctrinated, believe in their BS so much that they would. I mean, you're like in a cult, right? They'll keep doubling down, doubling down, doubling down. So there's no hope. So quote is, if there were any doubt the left that the "Don't Say Gay" bill goals are to punish gay kids and legalize homophobic abuse, listen to the bill's sponsor right now on the Senate floor. It's pure bigoted garbage. What is this? Don't say. I mean, is just for younger kids not to discuss gender issues. And that this is the end of the world, really? Why? Why do you have to groom kids? Why do you have to indoctrinate kids into your ideology at such an early age? Can't that topic be saved? I mean, probably shouldn't even be talking about it at school. If it's a sensitive topic, that the parents can discuss it. I'm sure these kids are going to watch so much online stuff, TV shows. These kids are going to have a full dose of sexual education and sexual, whatever the culture thinks about sex and, masculinity or like gender. Why does the official teacher of the public school need to officially have this in the curriculum in the second grade? Here it goes, though. The dragnet only gets wider here. Last month, Washington Post reported that 13 states were laws or directives on hand to encourage residents to snitch on each other for the sin of teaching critical race theory, which has become a catch-all term for mean anything to having to do with race, ethnicity, and equality. Many more states are already drafting laws, have already passed them, rendering abortion but illegal and worthy of cruel and unusual punishment. Missouri, like Idaho, would prefer not to be able to escape from such a law. Yeah. I hate when they say critical race theory. It's like they'll gaslight you by saying, what's wrong with teaching that slavery was bad? Why is it? Well, okay, if you've abused, you had the authority to teach about ethnicity and equality. And they could have taught it with tact. And they could have taught it gently. It's a sensitive topic, obviously. They didn't have to go all like Marxist on it, they went too far. They went too left. They went too Marxist. Parents aren't happy. I'm sorry. So now you lost your privilege to indoctrinate on that front. I mean, boo-hoo. Maybe these states' residents, whether because of personal ties or financial considerations, yeah, that's where all the goddamn jobs are, won't be able to leave. This is the new blueprint, while some of these proposed laws are toothless and exist as long exploited form of political grandstanding, made it literally illegal to leave a state because it hates you. Making it literally illegal to leave a state because it hates your freedom is a novel way of Republicans to make bigotry the official law of their respective lands, but still keep enough bodies on hand to remain functional as states. It's about as evil as you can get outside of rounding up people and killing them outright. This is, just like North Korea. There's a border in Florida, and it's like once you're crossing the demilitarized zone, you're like shot on sight. Your legs and arms are blown off with a landmine. Like, what? How is it illegal to leave the state? I don't get that. Not a single law makes it illegal to leave a state. And they're just trying to have, the Republicans are just trying to have enough workers. So the state's like, no, it's like you're projecting. It's like more like California, New York will soon have, it's like some of these left states are barely having just enough workers to keep it going, enough tax base. In the long run, they'll essentially cut off their own oxygen supply. As a result, Ukraine may not be the only place that has refugees streaming out of it. Where? What red state has refugees streaming out of it? Certain blue states, like Vermont, will even incentivize them to pull the trigger. None of this will necessarily be sudden, but retroactively also has been awfully long half-life. And the only thing that will grow from these bills is a stubborn daydream of leaving them behind. You're better off at this point thinking America is not a country but an agglomeration of desperate territories overseen by a federal government that, despite the size and expense, its territory isn't terribly relevant. Oh my God, I can only get so hard. That's just like a wet dream. Just break up the federal government and all the states be completely independent. Then, oh my God, would you see real migration? Because now you can't get under the thumb of the American government without leaving the country altogether. So on your taxes, it's like a 15% improvement. But if you were to break up the states into like their own separate countries and have a completely different tax code, wow, you would really see an exodus out of the left states. You will clearly see that. As opposed to people like tax difference would be between like 60% and like 10%, like a 50% difference. Holy, you'd really see who really cares about the Don't Say Gay bill and the actual like business laws and like relevant stuff like tax rates. There's no need for Texas to formally secede when it can elect to be legally separated from the rest of us instead. In this way, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has chosen to do business and is catching on with his peers. I live in the blue state. I have many gay family members. I have gay friends. I have gay neighbors. I have black neighbors. I have Korean neighbors. Yeah, but I bet most black people and most Korean people are conservative and don't give two craps about the Don't Say Gay bill, or actually probably would even support it. And even gay people, I mean, do you have to talk about gayness at like second grade? I have trans friends. This is only a complete shock to people that are just completely so indoctrinated, so far left, so far gone that they are melting down. It's like a regular person it's just not a big deal. I'm friends with trans parents. My kids have gay and non-binary friends. It's like listing off this is what the left is. It's like you see everything with identity groups. It's like people just have a normal life with all sorts of different people in it, but they had like this in order to make this guy's point, he has to show his credentials. And what are your credentials? Well, I have non-binary friends. Well, good for you. My school teacher's kids, that slavery was a bad thing. Oh, here it goes. Back to the CRT, gaslighting. Yeah, we teach CRT, aka we're just saying slavery is bad. That's all. Oh, by the way, there's a separate article where some parent was enraged because they had in a lefty state they had a mock slavery auction where her son was called the N-word and it was sold for $350. It's like, yeah, it's like, this is essential learning in many ways, but not all of them. I live in an ideal place for kids to grow up and for parents to raise those kids. Do you live in San Francisco? San Francisco's an awful place for parents to raise their kids. Unless you want your kids growing up in an open-air drug market. Especially jobs and rent. If the kids want to get their own apartment or buy anything, everything is like 2-3 times more expensive. You're house poor. You're like spend 60% of your income on rent. You couldn't fucking pay me to live in Florida, Texas right now. The irony is that thanks to their own rampant discrimination and those great splintering they've seen in motion, many of those backwards ass states will probably have to make that offer once they find themselves all alone, dead to the outside world. Dead to his... Well, first of all, I mean, I think this is great because I'm sure those states probably don't want you around. Or people like you around. But this is perfect. I think this is just... What they're doing is genius. This is like those Don't Say Gay laws or whatever. they're so minor. They don't say any. They don't. They're not going to teach the. They're not going to change the curriculum. But just because you're freaking out so much about it, if it keeps people out like you, I mean, so much the better.